Welcome back. This is a day of awesomeness. This is Free Float Media's Business Pants. We are live at 12:06 due to technical difficulties for all of our thousands of viewers out there. My name is Damian Rollis. Over there is my co-founder, Matt Mascardi. Welcome, Matt. Feeling
Man.
flustered?
No, I would say I was flustered, except I'm a professional. So I don't get flustered. Technical difficulties don't rattle me. What rattles me is when the assessor's office shows up at your house to ask how much your house should be worth while you're trying to do a live show. That's more rattly.
So, first world problems, white guy
It's
problems.
honestly as first world as you could possibly get.
All right. Well, welcome to Thursday. It's a good thing we don't do this 5 days a week
Hey,
because
move your Skype thing so I can see your
I
timer.
don't think you could handle it. Oh, sorry. See what happens when you call me back.
You're the flustered one.
I do feel a bit flustered. I would like to start this at noon for our 0 viewers.
They are waiting patiently for us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the pants that are businessy that we wear.
All right. Yeah. This is Business Pants, where we endeavor to bring you the financial business-ish, corporate-ish news 4 days a week. Let's just get at it, Matt.
Let's do it.
I'm going to start the timer now. I got a lot to say, unfortunately, in this first subject. This is our weekly wash. We're going to look back at the top stories of the week, where quite clearly, if you've been with us this week and have heard our shows, and I'm guessing that would be just me and you, Matt, but hey, whatever. The big news items of the week have clearly been Mr. Zuckerberg and the careening, crashing cataclysm of WeWork. So let's start with Zuck. I'll start the timer. Zuck was testifying yesterday in front of Congress. The Facebook CEO was there to talk about the company's new cryptocurrency project, but the conversation was really all over the place, and I want to cover some highlights today. So he ended up talking about everything from Libra to political ads to vaccines to money laundering to child exploitation to dark chocolate peanut butter cups to a new news service to deep fakes to diversity and all the way to China. I should note that I did maybe make up one of those topics, but whatever.
I'm
So,
hoping it
all
was
right.
China.
I'm going to get at it, Matt. So feel free to cut me. I have 6 points I'm going to cover here. So feel free to interrupt me with your wisdom at any time. But I just felt like I wasn't going to do it, but I just felt like this is compelling stuff. I mean, this is like a out of control freight train of a company, and it's worth discussing. This is what we're here for, okay?
Discuss.
Number 1, Zuck claims China will soon have its own version, so regulators shouldn't block Libra, right? So it's an amazing Cold War scare tactic there, Zuck. Well played. In other words, if you don't let us sell these meatless turkey throat chunks, then China will. Right? So that should be everybody's thing now. Like, if you don't let me do it, China's going to do it, and we're all screwed. It's a good look for a billionaire. Anything to say there, Matt?
Is China the modern economic boogeyman? Like Japan was this in 1983, wasn't it? Wasn't it like
it was always loosely Russia, but yeah, Japan was sort of there because it made better TVs. Yeah, it's China everything now. Basically, it's China. If you just throw your arms up and say China, I can't believe that WeWork hasn't worked China into this.
I mean, Marco Rubio was all over it yesterday.
Yeah.
It does seem like and Trump's whole administration is built on China. How much of it is boogeyman and how much of it is real? Like the IP theft is a real thing, but China will do this and crush you. Is that a real thing?
It could be, but who cares? I mean, that's capitalism.
It does seem like billionaire tech owners have coalesced around who do you trust more? Us white guys in Silicon Valley or China? Who do you trust more?
I'm guessing, that's a hard one. If it's Zuck, it might be China, but I don't know. All right, number 2. Just so you believe in Libra, Zuck said he is going to leave his inheritance to his children in Libra. So there.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3, Zuck repeated his call for more government regulation instead of Facebook making its own rules because it can't figure out its own rules.
Okay.
Number 4, in an awkward moment, Zuck said, quote, I don't know off the top of my head, quote, whether any Libra members were run by women, minorities, or LGBTQ people. So in other words, he doesn't know or care. Number 5, when asked whether he would be, quote, willing to commit to spending 1 hour a day being a content monitor due to claims of mental health issues associated with reviewing horrific and graphic videos, Zuck said, I'm not sure that would serve our community. In other words, he's too afraid to do it.
I think that's I got better things to do, isn't it? That's not I'm afraid.
Tough.
That's
an hour.
That's you're boring
Yeah.
me with your tears.
I think he's afraid. And number 6, this I think is the most fascinating part of it all, and this is like Zuck's central switcheroo theme of basically I don't control Libra, which he kept claiming throughout, saying that Facebook isn't Libra due to the Libra Association's supposed independence. I think that Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts summed up our disbelief best when she said, Mr. Zuckerberg, Libra is Facebook and Facebook is you.
Nice linear drawing right there.
Yeah.
But there was one quote that I think was the best,
Yep.
in which Mr. Zuckerberg, when being grilled by AOC about running political ads that could be lies, one of his responses were, lies are bad.
There's so much to untangle here. Like I didn't even covering it early this week. I was a little bit overwhelmed by Facebook, but now when I really dig into all of it, it's a runaway train. This can't be going to a good place for Zuck. And
Look,
now he's
think
talking about unveiling a new news service. He's worried about deep fakes, but he's okay with lies and political ads. He restricts anti-vaccination stuff. He just doesn't know what he's doing. It's just too much craziness.
False. He knows exactly what he's doing. This is actually, I think, simultaneously the investor angle and the consumer angle.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is a money-making enterprise.
Okay.
Everything he's doing, by airing political ads, they get that lie, they make more money. By airing deep fakes, there's liability problems, they make less money.
Mm-hmm.
By partnering with news organizations, he doesn't subject Facebook to becoming a publisher because the publishers are using the platform, which means from a regulatory standpoint, they're a platform, not a publisher. They make more money. By putting a device under your television that's a camera that's on all the time and watching what you do, they make more money. This is it. That's it. By putting out Libra, it gives his whole, which I agree with, the access to finance. That's a real thing. They give access to finance to people who don't have access to finance. Facebook makes more money.
Yeah.
This is where the Congresswoman from Massachusetts is right. It is a straight line to Mark Zuckerberg. Makes more money.
Here's the problem, Zuck, is that you continue this giant snowball coming down the hill, and if young people continue to sort of side towards the AOCs and the Bernies and the Warren, then you're going to have a reckoning. That's right.
Oh, geez, you sound like
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like,
who's going to reckon?
This is
the minority shareholders.
This is the climate that he's working in. No, I'm just saying that this might be a big tech breakup. I mean, it's possible. Anyway, we already killed 7 minutes there, but I briefly want to mention WeWork during our wrapping up our weekly wash.
Yeah, because I
The
need to
financial
wash every time I hear WeWork now.
the Financial Times is reporting pending 4,000 layoffs, which is nearly a third of the entire WeWork workforce. New executive chair Marcello Clare said that there is, quote, zero risk of the company going bankrupt. So it must be true because he said it. I love that. Zero risk.
Well, they got bailed
Uh,
out. Now they're not going to
yeah,
go bankrupt.
right, because that'll just turn it around, right?
Well,
Just
SoftBank will go
throw some
bankrupt,
cash at it.
and then WeWork will go bankrupt.
He also said to an employee's question in a meeting that there's a, quote, a level of gratefulness that we're going to have for Adam because he's the one who built this business. But he failed to mention that the business sucks and you're probably going to get fired and Adam is rich, bitch.
That didn't make his speech?
This is ridiculous. All right, let's get at it. We're done with that. We're going on. Let's go on. In Dystopia, Google announced has achieved a breakthrough in computing research by using a quantum computer to solve in minutes a complex problem that would take today's most powerful supercomputer thousands of years to crack, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds impressive.
It does.
Right? I mean, Zuck is like worried about, I don't know what.
I'm still using a TI-82.
Giving lever to his children, and Google's doing this.
Yeah, there was some cold water thrown at Google for the achievement. I know, like, it was like researchers arguing with researchers. It's the kind of thing like my wife when they're doing like medical research, there's like peer reviews and they argue about like nuances. Yep. Really, just wake me up when they. I'm pretty sure, and we talked about this before. I'm pretty sure that all these advances with AI and quantum computing and they're amazing human advances. And really what they're doing is just extending the life of the Terminator movie franchise into infinity. Because in 2300, when Adam Neumann's great-great-great-grandchildren walk into a place and say, I own this, they'll be releasing T-230 and they'll be thawing Arnold Schwarzenegger's body out to play the Terminator again.
So are you saying go long on Disney's new streaming service? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm long. I think Terminator's Warner Brothers, isn't it? I don't even know.
I don't know. They have something too, don't they? I don't know.
They do. I am long Terminator.
You're long everything. The reason why I bring this up is not only because I like to make fun of Zuck a little bit, as Google seems to come up with cool stuff constantly. It isn't just a platform. But don't you think we're kind of on the verge of, okay, we've been kind of in this smartphony, appy platform space for a lot of years now, right? Don't you think we're kind of on the cusp of something big about to sort of switch?
Yeah, I'm just afraid of what that. I'm pretty sure the switch
should be afraid, but
it's wearables, and to Zuckerberg's point, it's like implants.
Brain.
We are Neuromancer.
Yeah.
If you haven't read Neuromancer, because
I haven't.
Anybody under the age of like 40 probably hasn't read Neuromancer.
Yeah.
That's where we are. So
okay. Well, I haven't read it, so I'm still going to agree with you because I want to move on. Also, Dystopia, Richard Branson's space tourism company, Virgin Galactic, is due to start trading tomorrow on the New York Stock Exchange. Virgin Galactic spacecraft can carry as many as 6 passengers along with 2 pilots to the edge of space. So that's
explain something to me.
Yeah.
Do they have a product yet? Do they do this already?
The product is Hope. It's male space Star Wars fantasy. Is that a product?
Are we reaching peak phallicness when we are honestly like the most wealthy males in the world are sending phallic shaped objects to pierce the upper atmosphere, between Bezos and Musk wanting to go to Mars and Branson wanting to go to send other wealthy individuals to outer space. Are we at peak? It just isn't it just sperm hitting eggs? Isn't that what we just hit? The next frontier.
I want to disagree, but I can't.
So
Yeah.
so are you long heteronormative childbirth, because that's what this is?
Oh, is it a water birth at least?
Is there a doula involved when I go on a Virgin Galactic flight?
Don't diss doulas. They're wonderful people.
I love
All right.
doulas. We used one.
Yeah, we did too. Let's move on. In CEO's Ruuule, there's a new trend. The new trend for CEOs seems to be to hate on Senator Warren, presidential candidate Warren. And I will add that it does seem a lot more hate towards Warren than Bernie. I don't really, other than the obvious like sexism, I don't really get that one. But anyway, the latest was Leon Cooperman, the head of Omega Advisors, billionaire Cooperman, who said, and I quote, "I believe in a progressive income tax and the rich paying more, but this is the fucking American dream she is shitting on."
That's the quote.
That's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said.
Leon Cooperman.
Yeah.
Are we? It's new favorite person or not?
Yeah, I'll give you a few tidbits and you can tell me. Okay. First of all, because he's so wise, he said the stock market would drop 25% if Warren is elected. It's big news.
Yeah.
Right? Important.
Yeah. Agree or disagree?
Well, definitely. I mean, WeWork won't go bankrupt. How could it? And the stock market will automatically collapse because Leon says it will. What he did forget to mention, but I'm going to mention, is that he was in 2016, so only 3 years ago, he was charged with insider trading by the SEC.
Oh, come on. That was a witch hunt.
Yeah, you might be right, because after a $5 million settlement, he called the process totally abusive. Oh. In fact, next week we're going to be covering how the world is out to get Leon Cooperman, so that's going to be
that is an amazing addition to the Leon Cooperman legend, which is your cat.
We got to start a list of all these people. I realize. Oh, did my cat? Oh, wow, I like that. She's good at that. That's the Cooperman cat.
She comes to Leon Cooperman as she pulls down the screen behind you.
Actually, that might happen.
There's 100% chance. Today is just the weak and crazy. Leon Cooperman, also owner by subsidiary and foundation and stuff of the National Enquirer. So if ever there was a man selling truth, probably Leon Cooperman. How long before Leon Cooperman goes full Ken Fisher, do we think?
I'm assuming he's already gone full Ken Fisher.
I mean, I don't. I'm just this is pure speculation.
You're waiting for the leak of him going full
I'm just like the next secret meeting that gets whistleblower leaked.
Well, there was a report out of the Ronan Farrow book about all the sexual assaults at NBC. That National Enquirer shredded tons, its entire Donald Trump file. So something tells me that Cooperman is probably not going to let any leaks happen. I think he's ahead of the game. All right, let's stay in CEO Ruuule, and let's move on to yet another CEO who thinks he should be president because, well, he's a CEO and a white dude. So this time it's Dick's Sporting Goods CEO Ed Stack, who rose to prominence over the past year by stopping assault rifle sales at his company's stores after the Parkland school shooting, which is sort of like getting credit for stopping to sell crack to kids after 30 kids died of a crack overdose. Mm-hmm. So way to go, Ed. You're a real hero. Ed is joined by two other eager beaver white men CEOs, Howard Schultz of Starbucks and Mike Bloomberg of Bloomberg. So, yeah, way to go, CEOs.
I mean, would you vote for Dick's Sporting Goods?
I would vote for Well, I would vote for Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know if I vote for Ed Stack. I like the idea of a retail chain being the
What does this
president.
do
That
to
might
the
be interesting.
business? Does anybody is this glorified marketing in the end?
Yeah, it could be.
I
I just
think this is a
yeah.
flag for me to do a study on every time a CEO or ex CEO mentions running for office, whether or not the business there's some improvement in the stock price or not, or does anybody
Okay.
care?
Well, have you been into Dick's recently?
Because
You
I'm
have kids.
afraid that markets don't care enough about white people, white CEOs running for office. So I want to find out. We got to get to the bottom of these numbers.
Well, can you check right now?
No,
Have you been to Dick's recently?
I've not. I've not been to Dick's ever, Lee. I've not. I've
Well,
never. I don't think I've ever walked in one.
your girls are coming of age to joining sports teams, so you probably will be going soon.
If only I could get them an assault rifle somewhere. Not Dick's, apparently.
No. All right. All I have to say to that is this. Let's move into another category.
Biz Nuggets.
Time for everybody's favorite Biz Nuggets. Biz Nuggets. Side note, little insider information here. This show was almost called Biz Nuggets,
It was.
but we went with business pants. Number one. Ooh, I like the picture. Shaq said, that of course, being Shaq right behind my head, my cat is gone, but Shaq is there. Shaq said the Houston Rockets GM was right to speak out in support of Hong Kong. And I mentioned this to remind us all of the fact that Shaq is a director at Papa John's.
So I checked on this. Papa John's does have a Chinese franchise business. It's not a lot.
Okay.
It's something like 100 franchises.
Right?
How
That's
quickly
okay.
do we think now? Well, this is a two-part question. Part
Yeah.
number one: does China know Shaquille O'Neal is a board member of a company?
Does anybody?
Point number two:
Yeah.
how long until they close down those Papa John's in China?
Well, what's the move here? Do you risk alienating China, or do you risk alienating your claims of diversity by firing Shaq from your board? Like, what's the play here?
I mean, they hired Shaq because the CEO and chair, now deposed, was a racist.
Yeah, the
So-
founder of Papa John's, a big fat racist. Yeah.
So this is the sword of Damocles.
So the obvious
China or
answer,
racism? Which do you choose?
the obvious answer, I think, because of the brilliance of Papa John's, where the pizza isn't actually very good. So the obvious
How dare
answer
you?
is Yao Ming, the biggest, tallest Chinese NBA star that we've ever known, right? Should be on the board. Isn't that the answer?
Can I just say,
It's going to happen.
that's genius.
Yeah. I mean, what else? They don't have any other moves left. I mean, that's the move. All right, number two, our second biz nugget, Impossible Foods, of its meatless meat fame.
Meat from plants. Whoa. I like that as
that's
a
what it looks
tag.
like.
That's a
That-
great tagline.
That burger looks very mushy. Impossible Foods has filed an application to start selling in the European Union. Specifically, the plant-based burger maker is requesting permission for the use of soy legomoglobin,
Leg
globin.
hemoglobin.
leg hemoglobin in the EU. Why? Because soy leg hemoglobin is a genetically modified food, and the EU hates genetically modified foods. And I love saying soy leg hemoglobin. So,
God, you just got thought out of a cave.
what do we think about this? What do we think? Are we like dupes for being big into the GM meatless meat over here? Or who's right?
I do have
You
a
right,
fundamental.
smart.
When Impossible Burger announced its partnership with Burger King, and then the Beyond Meat sort of IPO craze,
Yep.
my first question was, who's buying this? Because if you're a vegan, then these places are places you don't usually traffic, and maybe you go in them, but all the reports are that this burger is actually made on the grill with other meat, and therefore would de-veganize it.
Soaking up the juicy meat.
And that is if you can get beyond. The Pew Research suggests that vegetarians and vegans, 2/3 of them have a distrust of genetically modified foods. This is literally the most genetically modified food a food can be. It's the selling point is that it's like meat because they genetically modified it that way without the meat. So 2/3 of the vegan and vegetarian population would probably be turned off by the idea in the first place. I don't get it. I've eaten it. Yeah. It's tasty, but I don't get it. I'm still a little bit lost.
Here's the real issue: is it would seem that vegans should move to Europe, right? Because they also distrust genetically modified foods. But having lived in Europe last year, they also kind of distrust vegans. They're very pro meat over there.
They are.
I don't know.
It's meaty.
What's up with where are vegans supposed to go?
Canada.
I like Canada. All right. Finally, in the Biz Nuggets, let's play a game.
Let's do it.
Let's play the Adam Neumann game.
Let's wash this out of our system because Adam Neumann is the content gift that keeps giving. But let's get this out.
This week's edition is called "What Can Adam Afford?" Is that what we're calling it?
I like that.
Okay. Let's start with so Adam Neumann walking away with $1.7 billion for essentially being a failure. Let's start. We're going to start with Virgin Galactic's tickets into space. How much would you pay actually for a ticket into space? I'm not going to tell you how much they cost. What do you think they cost?
Well, let's see.
What would you spend?
A bus token in West Hartford, I think, is $2.
I like how you said token. You're like 90 years old. All right, I'm going to end your misery. They cost $250,000.
Oh, wow.
$250,000.
That's a lot of bus tokens.
It's a lot. None of us can afford that, but can Adam Neumann afford it? What can Adam afford, Matt?
Well, Adam Neumann could probably afford. That's got to be, I don't know. That's what? Doing the quick math, because you just gave me the number, 4,000-ish.
So 4,000 rides into space?
Roughly, right?
Even that seems crazy to me. So that's a lot of money for a ticket into space.
What's the answer? Give me the answer.
Adam can only afford. Oh, you want me to give you the answer? All right, hold on. I have the answer written down, right? Because I did. It
is 6,800. That is the answer.
6,800. So that's how expensive a ticket is into space. Because as we know, Adam is really rich, right? I mean.
So do we expect Adam Neumann to spend all $1.7 billion on trips to space? The answer is
yes. Listen, interestingly, keep that number up there because the next question has to do with WeWork, which is reportedly laying off 4,000 workers. So this is one use of that money, right? He could fire them and send them into space.
Well, right? How many of them could he send into space?
He could send off all 4,000.
Let's say, well, I guess isn't the next question how many workers can Adam Neumann afford to hire?
Oh yeah. The next question in our Adam Neumann game is how many WeWork workers can Adam afford?
So that one's easy. 0. Because he's not a WeWork employee anymore.
Yeah, because he got shoved out the door with a big sad sack of money.
So what's the answer to that? What do we got? We have all of them.
Yeah.
All 4,000 layoffs Adam Neumann can afford to.
So what's the math there? You have the math on that one?
No, I don't. But we know it could be all of them.
This. No, I want to do the math on this.
Okay. While you
talk,
should I do the abacus sound?
Click, click, click. Yeah, you do some.
Click, 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 click. Look,
okay, it would appear that Adam could afford to give every one of these laid off workers $425,000. So that's enough for one ticket into space
Plus a year's
And
salary.
plus probably, I'm guessing, 3 years salary, right?
Plus at least a year if you want to keep them in the top 5% of earners.
So the question we have here at Business Pants is, Adam, are you going to do the right thing?
And send your ex-employees to space?
The answer is yes. All right, the last part of our what can Adam afford game is, okay, Tiffany's has announced, of course, because it's Tiffany's, has announced a new advent calendar, which it calls the ultimate advent calendar, which to a Jewish person is completely meaningless. But this is the ultimate advent calendar, and it costs, ready for this, a whopping $112,000 for an advent calendar. So, before we get to the Adam part of this game,
I have so many problems with this.
here's where you are, rich America. You can either go into space or buy 2 advent calendars. This is your question for the holiday season. All right, so Matt, what can Adam afford?
Adam is
how many advent calendars?
Adam is Israeli, so he's buying 0 advent calendars. That would be my guess. But he can afford to buy a whopping 15,178 advent calendars from Tiffany's. Each day leading up to the Christmas holiday, which he doesn't celebrate, having a new piece of wonderful jewelry for the people that he would give this to.
I think what Matt is trying to say is that he could give the 4,000 fired workers each an advent calendar and still have 11,178 left over.
He could give every one of them an advent calendar, a ticket to space, and $100,000 for 1 year's salary.
Oh my God,
that's an impressive tally.
We're waiting, Adam.
But look, we're way over time here. So but I want to play a game with you.
Yeah, let's go to Matt's ball pit.
No, I have more. Adam Neumann.
Oh, you have more.
I have 2. I have 3 really quick ones. Okay, how much can Adam Neumann afford? And I'm going to do this much faster than you because you are slow as fucking shit today. How many male CEOs could Adam Neumann hire? Quick guess. Average cost of a male CEO.
Yeah, I'm going to say like 50.
Incorrect. 683. Adam Neumann can hire 683 male CEOs.
That is insane.
But for the same amount of money, how many female CEOs on average could Adam Neumann hire?
Yes.
Quick answer?
Yeah.
748. He can hire 100 more female CEOs.
Okay. Because they make less money. Is that
so
what you're saying?
All he has to do is start 748 companies, and he's fully stocked of female CEOs.
Wow,
One more question for you.
Yeah.
One more question for you.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And calm your incredulity.
Yeah.
Because what is the cheapest NBA team, or the most expensive NBA team, I should say, Adam Neumann could afford with $1.7 billion?
I'm going to say the Detroit Pistons.
He can afford one NBA championship winning Toronto Raptors based on Forbes NBA valuations.
Wait, so he could buy an entire NBA team
for
sucking at his company.
Not just one. He could buy 20 NBA teams, but the Toronto Raptors are the most expensive one he could purchase, and they just so happen to win the NBA championship. So congratulations, Adam Neumann.
Wow, Adam. This is good. This is a good week for you, Adam. All right, let's get into the ball pit. That was a good game. Thanks for that.
Let's do Matt's ball pit.
Yeah.
Matt's ball pit. I think I should do a falsetto song for every single transition from now on.
Honestly, as the co-founder in this company, Free Float Media, you have permission to do falsetto for everything
until we get bailed out by SoftBank.
Mm-hmm. You can always dream.
So the ball pit's going to be quick today. Really, like with all the news about being Mark Zuckerberg and controlling a company and being Adam Neumann. I just, yesterday's ball pit, I got into a little bit about control. Today, I actually wanted to make this a little bit more personal because the watcher of this show, and I do mean singular, is likely to be buying mutual funds in their retirement accounts if they're buying anything at all. ETFs are mutual funds. But today I want to focus on mutual funds. And really, that means focusing on these companies, Vanguard, Fidelity, Capital Research, which is a firm that offers a number of mutual funds, T. Rowe Price, J.P. Morgan, really big mutual fundy companies. Mm-hmm. Vanguard is the largest in the entire world when it comes to mutual funds.
Okay.
With over $3 trillion in mutual fund assets. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
How many of those assets do you think, if you went to Vanguard and you said, "Oh, I really like this mutual fund. I'm going to buy this mutual fund." I know at an individual fund level, I can give you the data, but how many of those assets do you think are in controlled firms? Are in firms where the founder has control over them?
Okay, complete control, right?
Complete control. They are controlling
Dictators.
Shareholders. These are firms where Vanguard is basically saying, well, you know what? We don't really give a shit about managing the firm except we'll buy the share and then we'll sell it if we don't like it. We're not going to try to influence management. Why? Because we can't.
Okay.
How many? What percentage of those assets?
I want to be optimistic and say it's going to be low. So I'm going to say like 5%. I'm going to hope they're doing the right thing.
12%.
12%.
12%. That is more than $3 billion, almost $3.5 billion of the assets. When you buy a mutual fund at Vanguard, $3.5 billion on average of assets go to a controlled company.
Controlled by people like Leon Cooperman and Ken Fisher.
Yeah, it's much worse for a dimensional fund. $1 in $5 goes to a controlled company. So congratulations, dimensional fund. One more question for you on my ball pit today. Mm-hmm. What percentage of each major mutual fund, if Adam Neumann could buy the assets of every mutual fund, what percentage would he own for each company?
Well, because he would suck at it, he probably would be 0%.
Not with his bailout money.
Oh, right. Okay, you're right.
Adam Neumann could go out now and actually buy 1.2% of all of Northern Trust's mutual fund assets.
That's depressing. It's completely depressing.
1.2%. Now that sounds like very little, but we're talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's I can't wrap my head around this.
That's all I got for my ball pit today.
That's the show, Matt. We went over, but we had fun. This is the week of October something or other. But so we'll see you not tomorrow.
Professional here.
But Monday, because this takes a lot of effort to broadcast this daily live to our massive viewership. We need a break.
See you all Monday. Thanks for joining us.
See you then.